Now at 10, the Columbia County school system is transitioning its Department of Public Safety to a school district police department. We'll explain why. And a bond hearing for an accused killer pushed back. We'll hear from the family of 8-year-old Arbery Anthony about the trial. Also tonight, the Georgia legislative session wraps up on Monday. We'll explain what health care bills are slated to get the green light. Your news at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. John Hart is on assignment. Coverage you can count on begins with big changes coming to the way Columbia County schools handle discipline. Tonight, we'll take a look at what it means for students.
We've seen very positive reaction to having an officer in every school.
Columbia County school safety officers are now transitioning to school resource officers. The change means if a student breaks the law, school resource officers can make an arrest.
If a crime has been committed or a law has been broken, the resource officer will actually be the one initiating the charge or the arrest or whatever is necessary.
Chief of Police Lance Paus says this will help officers respond quickly to any school threats.
If an emergency situation should happen, whether it be an active shooter or any other serious incident, the officer's there to react. He's on campus.
He says in an emergency or school threat, response time is critical.
The average response time for law enforcement is 7 minutes. So we've closed that gap of 7 minutes because we've got somebody on scene that can react to that situation immediately, and that's their primary responsibility, is to meet the threat or to take care of that incident.
All school resource officers have at least 5 years of experience in law enforcement and have use of force and de-escalation training.
These officers are trained, they're ready for this, they're experienced in what they do, and they're up to this task, and they're ready to take on that challenge.
There are 32 full-time school resource officers, one in every school. All right, now it's time to take a look at your weather forecast with our chief meteorologist, Tim Miller. And Tim, a beautiful and warm spring day.
Indeed, and we're going to continue that trend, Denisa, for sure. Tonight, let's look outside and we'll take a looky-loo here at our Jiffy Lube Skyview Cam over to the Marriott, showing the Riverwalk in downtown, lit up and really, really nice outside. Temperature, though, goodness, 50 degrees. It even caught me by surprise. 50 already at Bushfield, Aiken at 56, noticeably warmer in town at 65 degrees, but you'll see the moon icon tonight. Yes, we have some really wonderful conditions. As far as the winds are concerned, there they are, dying down here a little bit. So we've had a decent breeze throughout the day, but now it's down to about 5 to 8 miles per hour. Satellite view showing clear skies all across the CSRA. Two-state, pretty much the same thing. There goes high pressure just north of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's moving off towards the north. That means for us it'll be a little cool night tonight. So we're at 50 now. We're going to drop down to about 40 coming up for tomorrow morning. Maybe some upper 30s in some locations, but that may be pushing it. But a beauty tomorrow, sunshine galore. I will throw in a few little late afternoon clouds, but we'll do 75 for our high temperature for tomorrow afternoon. Really, it's a hole-in-one forecast. If we use a golf analogy, which is what we're going to do here, highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. We'll talk more about our weekend forecast, and then I want to talk about what's headed our way next week. There could be some interesting changes. We'll dive into all of that coming up in just a few minutes. Teresa.
All right, thanks, Tim. U.S. Marshals have arrested a suspect wanted for murder in Richmond County. Carlos Figueroa was located today in Pinellas County, Florida. Investigators believe he and 3 other suspects were involved in the murder of Alan Newsom. Newsom was found shot March 18th in the roadway of a mobile home park of Ulm Road. No word when Figueroa will be extradited to Georgia. Ortegas Jones, Tiziah Dukes, and Brenton Coleman are all already in custody, charged with murder in this same case. The man accused of killing 8-year-old Arbery Anthony back in January was scheduled to have a bond hearing today, but it's been pushed back. According to the DA's office, the hearing was pushed back at Antoine Redfield's request. Redfield was out on bond after being charged with a 2019 murder at the Private Eye nightclub. News Channel 6 spoke with Arbery Anthony's aunt, who informed us about the bond hearing.
This would have sister failed us as a community. This would have sister failed her as a community. They failed my niece. Because if they would have done their job correctly the first time, he shouldn't have been walking out on the street. He shouldn't have been first.
There's still no word on a date for Redfield's next bond hearing. We're learning more about the deadly school shooting at the middle school in Greenville, South Carolina. A 12-year-old student died. The suspected shooter is also 12 years old. He's facing several charges, including murder. Kelsey O'Donnell explains what happens next.
A day later, and the impact of the deadly school shooting continues to sink in. Investigators with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office say a 12-year-old student was shot and killed by a fellow classmate at Tanglewood Middle School.
The shooting occurred. The student immediately left the school. We found out sometime later.
According to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, the suspect was found a short time later hiding underneath a deck of a nearby home. That's where deputies say they took him into custody and recovered the gun. Now the 12-year-old is behind bars.
And I'm not sure, even after a full and thorough law enforcement investigation, anyone will really know what was going through the mind of that young person that took this rash act.
The juvenile suspect faces a murder charge, according to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. It is yet to be determined if he will be tried as an adult. According to a Greenville County lawyer, the state of South Carolina has specific rules for people 12 and under.
Each state has different DJJ juvenile justice codes that talk about who is an adult and who isn't. There is a threshold that basically says that 12 years and younger is normally not prosecuted as an adult.
We asked attorney John Reckenbile to describe the legal process.
There will be a DJJ hearing where they will ultimately do an evaluation of the child. That child then will be basically put on trial where the judge and the prosecutor gets to decide if, in fact, that child has the mental intent of an adult.
According to Reckenbile, it's a process that could take between 4 and 5 months. He says because the suspect is a minor, it is likely that we will have very little details as the case proceeds through the judicial system.
Everything that is prosecuted in a juvenile court is confidential. We only learn about it if the fact that that case is elevated.
Investigators say parents are asking for immediate action from the Greenville School District. They're asking for clear bag policies and metal detectors. Georgia lawmakers on both sides are working to pass nearly 100 bills before their 40-day session ends on Monday. Many of those bills focus on health care. Lawmakers are looking to expand Medicaid access, lower insurance premiums, reduce the cost of prescription drugs, and expand telehealth access. Another priority is to secure more funding for rural hospitals and provide tax credits to get more healthcare professionals in underserved communities. The House has passed a bill that would significantly reduce insulin prices for Americans. Proposed by Senator Raphael Warnock, the bill caps a patient's out-of-pocket costs at $35 a month. Right now, insulin averages around $375 and go as high as $1,000. The legislation still needs to be considered in the Senate, which is creating a broader bill.
Simply, this will reduce out-of-pocket costs for many insulin products and provide savings to millions of insulin users.
More than 34 million people in the U.S. have diabetes, according to the CDC. The IRS says it has unclaimed tax refunds of almost $1.5 billion, and it's urging people to act before April 18th to claim any money that's owed to them. These refunds stem from about 1.5 million taxpayers who didn't file a return in 2018. The median value of those unclaimed returns is just over $800. Check your documents now to see if you filed.